This kid brought the exact same lunch every day, a plastic container full of dried coffee grounds. When people first saw him bring this to school and tell people he was eating it, they thought it was a prank. Then lunchtime came. He would grab a spoon, pop open the coffee ground jar, and just start eating it raw. Dude, why are you eating coffee? My grandpa's been doing it his whole life. It keeps me awake and alert. I'm surprised you don't eat coffee. The teachers noticed he was doing this every day, so they called his parents. His dad was like, oh, he's not supposed to be eating it. I'm not sure where he learned that from. Turns out his grandpa lived with him and his parents and would let him smell coffee grounds every single morning. And somewhere along the way, the kid got confused because when his grandpa said, they smell better without water, right? The kid assumed that it was better to eat them raw. What a weirdo. You didn't want to forget your homework in this class, because if you didn't turn it in, you wouldn't get a bad grade or points taken off. She would drag your desk to the front of the room and you had to face the class instead of the board. Hi guys. Hi. Now that is awkward, because the entire time someone would be sitting there, they would assume everybody they're looking at and that is looking at them is judging them horribly, even if it's not the case. Awkward eye contact, kids just pointing and laughing, whispering. Are they talking about me? I don't know what's going on. Well, the students hated this. If they forgot to do their homework, they would frantically try to fill it in before class started because they didn't want to be in the hot seat, but it worked. That class had the highest homework completion rate in the entire school. So, you tell me, that teacher is a genius, right? This kid hid Monopoly money all over school. You would tape them under desks, hide them in library books, taped one underneath the drinking fountain. Well, soon enough, people started to find them, and then more people started to find them. At first it was a joke, but kids began using this Monopoly money to buy snacks off their friends. I have $200 in Monopoly money. Can I have your pudding? After a month or two, this Monopoly money basically became the school's currency. Kids were buying pencils from each other, like I said, snacks. They were settling bets, and nobody knew who started it. One day, a 5th grader tried paying a 6th grader $5 in real money for their lunch snack. He said, if it's not Monopoly money, I don't want it. And just like that, like a lot of my other stories, the principal had to make an announcement. It was a big deal because these kids went crazy for it, but hey, gotta respect Monopoly. This kid carried 2 lunch boxes to school every single day. One was a normal insulated lunchbox, and it had his food in it. The other was a very old, dirty, dented metal lunchbox. He never opened it, and he never let anybody touch it. His friends always asked him, what's inside that lunchbox, bro? He would just smile and say, don't worry about it. By middle school, people just started making fun of him for it. Weirdo's got 2 lunchboxes, and that one's a nasty one. Yeah, he's probably got boogers in there. Well, he didn't let this bother him. He went through all the middle school, and on the last day of 8th grade, his friend asks him, bro, seriously, what's in there? He opened it. Inside was tons of notes. Hundreds. Every single lunch note his mom had packed for him since he was in kindergarten. Good luck on your spelling test. Love you, son. Happy birthday. Can't wait to hear about your test. He never threw them away, and that old metal lunchbox was the very first lunchbox his mom ever bought him. When it got too beat up and rusty to carry food, he just bought another one. But he still carried the metal one around with him. He said that those memories, those notes, were way too valuable to throw away or leave behind. And every day he would read them, and it gave him a little bit of a pick-me-up. That, my friends, is beautiful. At this school, there was a kid called the Mayonnaise Bandit. Every couple of days, somebody would grab a railing on the stairs or their locker, and their hands would be covered in this slimy goo. It was mayonnaise. Mayonnaise! It was believed to be a one-time prank the first time it happened, but then it happened again and again and again. People were just avoiding the railings. The janitors would clean them every afternoon, but the mayo always came back, and they began checking the cameras. The person that did this was wearing all black. They couldn't see his face, and he would do it at the strangest times, usually very early in the morning. They never knew how he even got into school that early. Months later, they finally caught this kid. And it wasn't because of the cameras or any tips that students gave in. It was because a teacher noticed one of her students unzip his backpack to grab his notebook, and inside they saw a giant jar of mayonnaise. He was caught mayonnaise-handed, and he was suspended. Gotta respect the bandit.